At that moment, if they made even the slightest movement, they would be killed on the spot. In an instant, everyone seemed to be under a spell, standing still as if frozen. Even when priceless red wine spilled onto the floor, no one dared to move. The entire world was as quiet as if time had stopped. The girl couldn't help but glance to the side, and to her surprise, she noticed two eerie and mysterious figures suddenly appearing. One of them slowly walked into the crowd, carefully observing everyone's movements. Even the faintest sound of breathing could be detected. To save their lives, everyone had to hold their breath, not daring to let their guard down. They initially thought they could quickly escape the crisis, but unexpectedly, a pesky fly suddenly landed on a man's face and started moving towards the corner of his eye. At that moment, the man silently cursed it 100 times in his mind, but he could only try his best to restrain himself. However, the next second, he involuntarily blinked. The moment he blinked, the monster noticed him and immediately grabbed the man's neck. Seeing the situation turning dire, the woman took advantage of the monster's distraction and quickly escaped with her companion, driving to a sparsely populated suburb. It turned out that in the future year of 2027, robots created by humans had already dominated the entire world. The few humans who had survived could only blend in among those android robots to survive. However, humans were unwilling to be controlled by robots, and the slightest misstep would expose their identity. At that time, the robot Lisa, in order to find the exact location of the survivors, threatened the recently captured human Nick. She claimed that as long as he could provide clues about the humans, he could enjoy the treatment of a robot. However, Nick had long since become indifferent to life and death, angering Lisa, who immediately activated the room's switch. As the scorching temperature rapidly rose, the panicked Nick glanced around and noticed an arrow engraved on the manhole cover beside him. He quickly opened it and escaped. Following the traces on the wall, he explored his way to a mysterious room, which turned out to be the robot repair shop. To protect himself, he grabbed a handy tool. But just as he was cautiously searching for an exit, he was discovered by a robot guard. After being body slammed by the guard, Nick seized the opportunity to grab a small knife from the toolbox and unhesitatingly stabbed it into the guard's abdomen. He then continued to crawl through the ventilation duct, following the trail. Inside, he found an injured man, but when he opened the ventilation grate, he discovered two long-dead humans lying below, plunging him into despair. Unexpectedly, the man beside him suddenly woke up and told Nick to use his own body as a buffer to escape. Only by getting out of there alive could he convey everything that had happened to humanity. Left with no choice, Nick reluctantly used the man's body to jump down, but now was not the time for grief. He hurried towards the escape door and successfully broke free from the robot's control. He then used satellite broadcasting to reveal the robot's plot to all of humanity.